That's better. Thank you. I don't know what's got into you all today. Through this sunshine. It's very frivolous. Love it. Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Oh, you've gone quiet now. Oh, you couldn't shut you up just now. Now you've gone quiet. Oh. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You probably don't fully appreciate what you bring to this church. You know, I was just sat here talking with Stephen, and the buzz and the energy and just the sheer joy, and that's what we should be celebrating. You know, there shouldn't be an onerous task. This should be a joy. This should be a coming together. It should be keep asking me, have we got the right song this week? All right, nobody else please ask me that, because the number 10 asking me that has been told quite firmly that we have. So, but it's great. It's wonderful to see this community. It's wonderful to see the sun. And it's wonderful to see our really good friend, Stephen Mayger. We had our first day of our legacy course yesterday, and it exceeded my expectations, which is not a very easy thing to do. So, really good. Looking forward to your work today, Stephen, both in your philosophy and in your mediumship. Quick reminder, please, phones off. And without further ado, shut up Lawrence and hand over to the demonstrator, the lovely Stephen, for the opening prayer.
Thank you.
Which is followed by the Lord's Prayer, all right?
If you could just join me for a few moments. Just get comfortable in your chair and sit in your own silence, in your own power, in your own spirit. Divine and gracious Spirit, we ask that this morning you join close to us to share us proof not only of your survival, but of the constant care that we get from our loved ones who have passed over. That they turn their attention back to us and show us not only their love, but that they can guide us and even direct us along our path. They can offer words of wisdom, comfort, and show us that they have learned from their lives, and that we can take from them some of that wisdom and see ourselves not only as spiritual beings, but how we can harness our spiritual side, our spiritual power. As we sit here this morning and we get to know each other and we share in each other's energy, we think of the word harmony, that we raise our vibration to a higher octave. And where we do, we join with our guides, our spiritual selves, and our higher self. And in that space that we can be blessed with clear insights and a clear healing gift, one that we can share with all of mankind as well as all of nature. So for a few moments, just offer your thoughts not only to your loved ones but to the world. Envision yourself in this beautiful light energy and see it emanating everywhere into eternity. And we ask that you keep us in that beautiful energy this morning as we work. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Stephen. And now, if you care to, please join in with saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And leave us not when in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. Thank you. And we now move into that presence, that time of healing. This is that time we always remind you that each and every one of us, wherever, whoever, whatever we are healers. Healing can be brought about by word, by thought, by deed, and it can be as simple as a smile or an acknowledgement. It all acts on that healing vibration to uplift and support those around us as they do for us. So during this time, we ask you just to send out your thoughts wherever you are drawn. Send out that love. Operate on that vibration, that harmony of love. And healing is delivered. Trust that it is delivered. If there is anybody in particular you would like mentioned, please just raise your hand during the music. And when I point to you, just call out their name. It is as simple as that. The intelligence of the spirit world understand. So enjoy this time of healing, of meditation and upliftment. Thank you. Divine and infinite Spirit, God of our own understanding, we thank you for the healing that has flown forth this day, and for this reminder too that we are healers one and all, in a world full of upliftment, a world full of beauty, and a world full of opportunity, should we so choose to see these things that way. Amen. Stephen, sir, I'd like to invite you for your address.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So yesterday we doing this sort of training day in philosophy, in using your experience in spiritualism to find insights into the meaning behind the message. And there's a question on the Lyceum last night about, what is progress? What is the goal that we're trying to achieve? It's you make your mark as a medium when you actually get to work as a medium, and then what? What's the process? And for people wanting to learn and to develop their mediumship, you have to develop your inner faculties. And everyone's so different that there's no yardstick to measure it by. But there's so many different ways people can develop. We talk about sitting in circle, where you sit and you do a meditation, you do psychical exercises, and you learn to connect with the spirit world, become familiar with that feeling, so you know the difference between your mediumship contact and maybe a psychic vision that you're having. And these things are very subtle, so you need the experience to be able to recognize the difference. And the more you do it, the stronger that difference feels to you. But we were talking, I've kind of figured, looking retrospectively, where a lot of mine has developed. It's not just in circle, but it's in what you do in daily life. And we're talking about listening to music, about picking lyrics out of a song that speak to you. And I find a lot of very good spiritual knowledge in Oasis songs, funnily enough. And some of the words that they're using, like as he faced the sun, he cast no shadow. You cast no shadow when you're pure light. It means this person was emanating so much light that he didn't even cast a shadow. Probably wasn't Liam Gallagher, but do you see that in the words there's all this deep meaning that I've resonated with since I was 15 years old from that one song, and it's been part of my spiritual journey. But listening for music at a much more subtle level, listening to classical music and picking an instrument out of the orchestra, blocking out all the other instruments and just picking out the flute, or just picking out the cello, or just picking out the violin, and blocking out all the other sound and just focusing on that helps develop your clairaudience. And where I worked in building, I would have to look at a drawing and look at an open waste ground and be able to visualize where the building's going to go. Take the customer on a walk over a piece of grass, say this is where the walls are going to come here and here. There's going to be 2 rooms this side, 2 rooms that side. The kitchen's going to be there with the cooker there. The window's going to be there. This carpet's going to be this colour, and these tiles are going to be this. And I have to be able to paint a picture, an invisible picture that they can then formulate in their own mind and see in their mind's eye what we're going to build for them. And that really helped me develop my inner vision, inner faculties. And so we've all got roles in life, whether we work in construction or we work in a hospital, whatever it is. You find something in your job, in your daily life, where you can enhance your inner faculties by learning to describe and express yourself well. And we were talking yesterday about how life is this feedback loop of input, process and output, and it's a circuit. So quite often we are taking in this information where we're experiencing something, we're listening to a medium work, and the words are going in and our minds are processing it. But if we don't express ourselves, if we don't then complete the circuit, like all energy, all sort of movement, it becomes stagnant in a way. And for many years I was taking in all this information, but I wasn't doing anything with it. I wasn't completing the circuit and passing it on. So I was encouraged to come along to my church and take part in the platform practice. And I had all this really cool stuff I wanted to talk about. So it was about developing and honing that ability to express myself and to frame what I was saying and to listen back to it and see where I could improve on what I was doing. And there's all these tiny, subtle little changes that over time you become proficient, and it looks like you're doing it effortlessly, but really there's all this work every single day, every morning when you wake up, and you sort of reacquaint yourself with the world, and you think of all the things you've got to do that day and all the things you completed the day before, and then you take a few moments to visualize in your mind how you're going to complete your tasks for the day. And maybe if you just spend another minute visualizing those tasks in more beauty and more color and adding texture to them, and you develop that inner faculty stronger and stronger. And because we have had that faculty, kept back, prohibited for so long, like any muscle, it's atrophied. And that's why people feel that they don't have this mediumship, because it's like a muscle that hasn't been exercised for a long time. So these little incremental steps make monumental changes in your life, that you end up having been propelled on this journey of unfoldment. And though the faculty of mediumship doesn't always equate to a high spiritual nature, eventually that clarity is going to bring you into a higher spiritual nature, because you see more clearly the effects of the things that you do and how they could encourage people for the positive or negative, and how they can set the future of your life for the positive or negative. And although we come into spiritualism not wanting a religious sort of experience, we don't want to be told this is right and this is wrong. that we are left to our own judgment, that we are to take the information and process it ourselves. But we don't always have the tools to do that. We don't always feel that we're adequately prepared, because the medium can see things that we can't. And it's not necessarily true. It's just that medium, for some reason, might have trained that faculty, probably by default, like myself. But it's something that we can all harness to a different degree. And for a lot of people, it's also that clairsentience, which is less subtle, because that feeling can be quite overwhelming. Not in a negative way, but to actually feel the presence of someone stepping into your energy. Like when you're sitting in a room and you can feel a loved one in your family walk into the room before you see them, because they're so familiar. You've got to know that energy so well that you recognize it so easily. And that's what happens when you start working with your mediumship. You become unsure at first, but then once you've been enveloped in that energy and you recognize it, it's a loving energy. It's the love that was shared between someone that had lived on the earth with you and passed over. And once you get used to those subtle variations in the family feeling, that feeling of a brother, that feeling of a sister, that feeling of a mother, a grandmother, a father or grandfather, it becomes familiar, because it's family and you know what you're experiencing. And for people who are a little bit scared or reticent of working with the spirit because they're unsure, there's that feeling of love. And it can be absent in many of our lives. Most of us know love better through its absence than the love that we've shared, because we sometimes spend most of our life in that absence. We lose someone, that absence of their love is stronger sometimes than the love you actually had for them on earth, because you don't appreciate what you've got until it's gone. And it can be the same with your senses as well. I'm sure as you start to get older and mature in life, and your eyesight starts to diminish, and your hearing becomes a little bit more difficult, and maybe your hands can't feel things the way they used to. Mine are numb and on fire most of the time, and I can't do all the intricate soldering I used to be able to do. Save money fixing all my own equipment. Now I have to just throw it away and buy another one. And I feel silly, because even at my fairly young age, there's things I can't do that I did 20 years ago so well. But then when I look at the inner faculty that I've developed, as my physical body begins to fade away and become less useful than it was, my inner life becomes more useful. It's coloured with more beautiful experiences as I age and develop a greater depth of understanding and wisdom. And so we've all come together. There's a lot of new faces here, but you might have been to spiritualist churches before and seen a medium work and had an experience, but you're here again to add another layer of understanding and meaning. There's no finish line of spiritual development, no finishing line in mediumship. Sometimes you have to call a message to an end because you know that person will talk all day long because they like to express themselves. So I figured out that the only way to make any progress spiritually is to express yourself, to take what you've learned, be able to put it into words and share it with somebody who's going to take that, receive it, and it's going to become part of their understanding as they process it with their mind and learn to express it themselves as well. So hopefully some of you've got a food for thought, that when we leave here today that we can go and just spend a few moments trying to pick out that instrument in the music, or hear a bird in a tree and try focus on that bird and not all the others, and really enhance that subtlety of your inner experience, and maybe find yourself connecting deeper and deeper with nature and feeling that love and that warmth that comes from the earth, that's the same as that love that comes from your family. And the more it becomes familiar, the more it enhances and you blend with it. And yesterday was the first day of spring. We've just passed the vernal equinox, and you see that the druids all over the country visiting their local sites and carrying out their rituals as they have for thousands of years. And the word spiritual is made up of the word ritual, a ritual of the spirit. Those things that you do every day those little incremental changes that make the monumental development in your soul. So think of that today and blend with the Spirit, blend with the spring, and enjoy this beautiful season as it flourishes. Thank you.
I have a point of order. You used to listen to Oasis when they came out when you were 15. Enough said. Beautiful. Thank you, Stephen, so much. I dread saying this. We now move on to our piece of music for the day. Those of you who were here last week, remember there was a slight disagreement between what was the printed sheet said and what was actually played. Never mind. Did anybody die? No. So, I don't know why I'm running this church, I really don't. Enjoy the music. During this time, Sue will take the collection for the further work of this your church, because I saw she's just got comfy there, so up you get. Thank you.
adore thee, all veiling their sight of all thy rich graces. This grace, Lord, impart. Take the veil from our faces, the vow from our hearts.
So we now come to that part of the service where it's all fine and well for us spiritualists to say we don't die. I always say prove it. And this is that opportunity. This is that time of the coming together, of the sharing of the information, the memories and thoughts about the world and our lives today from those who love us the most. Those who have taken that separate path and stepped just a step in front of us. That's all it is, just a step in front of us. We do require you to be part of this communication. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Lovely. Just imagine, your loved ones are here. Seriously, you can't deny it. The amount of evidence we've had, they are actually here. Embrace that. Why wouldn't you? You know, I always say, my mum and dad, they walked in the door, I'm not going to go, alright, clip round the ear. I would embrace that moment, as I do in regular contact. So please, join in with the conversation, yes?
Yes.
Yes. With a...
Yes. No. Maybe.
Thank you. I can see on the look on some of the new people's faces going, what? Stephen, sir.
Right, like I was saying, I see spirit in my mind's eye, and I hear them in my inner being, not like it's audible out loud. But sometimes, I know people say you do need to hear the voice of the recipient because it somehow improves the connection. I'd say mostly because I'm quite blind, so I can barely see you. I'll try not to misgender anyone. I do see a gentleman coming close to me in my mind's eye, but he's quite a reticent person, and I feel a very confident energy with him. So he's not reticent for that reason, but he's sort of, I don't know why, but he's sort of keeping his face out of my vision for some reason. I don't know if this is characteristic of him, because he's the type of person who would like to stand back, but somehow still be in charge. He feels like someone who organises from the wings. He's a very motivating person, and I feel that there's a lot of friendliness with him, and he does it from a nice place, but his delivery is very difficult to accept, I feel. As much as I feel like a father, I feel a little bit of distance with him, that there was this, I'm father and you're child, and I'm doing my thing, and I expect certain things of you, but I'm not going to be on your case all the time. But I feel that when I do catch up with you, that you show progress in your life. So with this gentleman, I just feel that there was this prickly nature with him, but really he was a good man, and it felt like I liked pleasing him, that because he was very motivating. In hindsight, it was driving me forward. And I don't know if I want to come to a son or a daughter with this feeling. I feel more on the daughter link. He would have been a little bit shorter than me, but he doesn't like me saying that because I feel that he would like to have been a little bit taller. He kept a nice head of hair right up until the end, and he was always quite a smart casual. I'm seeing like very light coloured chinos and light shirts, and I would only wear a tie if I needed to with a jacket. Otherwise I would be pretty casual, ready to do something practical with this man. I feel my sat nav's a little bit off, so I'm not asking where I'm going with this gentleman, but does anyone recognise him as father at the minute? I'm feeling drawn over this way. Maybe the way I described him sounds a little bit more intense than he really was, but I just feel this sort of separation, like he was always very busy, and I didn't really get to know him as much as I would like to in life. I do feel drawn over here. So you understand this? Okay. You understand why he's a little bit of a reticent person? Okay. I feel like with yourself you're very similar to him in that way, and you take a lot of traits from him. And his silence was, it wasn't taken personally, it's just his nature. But it feels like sometimes I wish I just had a little bit more from him. Yes. Okay. He did have a big heart, he's showing me. And I think maybe the heart was part of his problems towards the end. But I do feel quite a healthy man through my life. I used to watch what I ate, and I was very appreciative because I knew as I grew up, a lot of people grew up around me, didn't have a hot meal every day. And I feel that I was, in hindsight, I felt very lucky. Okay. And I am seeing a bombed out area, or a sort of area that's very run down and but I'm assuming a bombed out area. Would you understand that?
I think so, yes, before I was, he
Yeah.
wasn't, I can take that from the past,
Okay, and because I feel a lot was lost in that, family history, memories, heirlooms, souvenirs. So it feels like I'm starting from scratch.
Yes, he didn't talk about it, so I don't
Okay.
know
I feel with this gentleman, he must have suffered a lot in his head. I don't know if it's headaches and tension, but I feel like there's a lot up there as well. And maybe he never spoke about it, but it's like he's holding quite a lot in.
Yeah, I think it was more nervous, mental illness.
Right, okay, so that explains that. But I feel with this gentleman, a very spiritual man coming from the spirit. It feels like he's got, with the application of what he learnt in life, he found it very easy to understand life after death, as it were, or life after life.
Yes.
That he felt very welcomed. It was like, almost like coming home. I know we say it very easily, coming into a spiritualist church feels like coming home. And but that makes me feel that he didn't always feel at home in this world,
No, I don't think he did.
Okay. But I just feel this real peace with him, and this peace that, and I don't know if it's some peace coming into your life as well, but I feel it's shared, a shared peace between you and him.
Yes.
Okay. He is showing me a sign of the cross as well. I don't know if he was brought up with that religion.
No, it was more me. I used to try and talk to him about
Right.
religion and spiritualism.
Okay.
And he asked me a lot of questions a week before he passed, but he didn't know he was passing, so
Right,
I
okay.
think that might apply to that.
Okay. He's just got this, the feeling is so warm and peaceful. I feel like he must have been, like I say, with Tyson, didn't share a lot of himself in life, but it feels like he radiates his energy now.
Yes.
So I'm going to leave his love with you, but I feel there's more to come from him if for some reason he's saying that he's got a lot to share and say, and I feel he's going to make contact as often as he can. So lots of love. God bless you. I feel a very soft lady's energy coming in. Very soft, very warm. As this lady draws into me, she feels very much like a very happy, motherly energy, very bright and smiley lady. She's got quite a very light complexion. She's put quite a little bit of weight on, and she's sort of smiling about it. It's just cream teas every day with this lady, and she would have had one of these voices that's quite high but would shake a little bit for some reason. She would have, I feel she passed quite a little while ago, but she's showing me herself in her sort of late 50s, early 60s. I feel she passed a bit later than that, but she's telling me of a time in her life where she really became very sociable, and she would, I don't know if there's like a bit like the WI. I would have gone along to these things. I would have known everybody and tried to be very social. And then all of a sudden I've got this illness, and it took me just out of circulation. And as I say circulation, I feel this has got a lot to do with my blood. I feel I'm having a lot of tests, and then I'm being put on machines, and I don't know if it's diabetes. I don't want to make the assumption, but I'm having to sit on this machine for a few hours and have it processed. I'm not sure if it's cancer or something like that, but I feel a lot suddenly went wrong with this lady, and it all became too much. And then it's just an overnight change, and I don't think I don't feel like it was that long until I passed, actually. With this lady, I don't know if it's a mum energy or an auntie sister energy. She just feels she's very much part of a big group of people, and we all just loved each other dearly. And I don't quite know where I'm going with this. I feel towards the back there, and I don't really know if it's a mother energy, but she's giving me this feeling of, auntie sister type of energy. Can anyone understand this? I see the two people there talking. I'll just try to see what she's showing me. She would have had very pale skin and had to be careful of the sun. She didn't want to get too tanned. Would you understand this? No. Okay. She's given me a name like Jill or Gillian. Okay, I'll put it out to anyone. Does anyone understand this lady? You understand some of it? As mother, right. But would you say you became quite friends with her rather than as you got older, you were more on the same level?
Yes.
Okay. And you understand the weight.
Yes.
It became a little bit much, and it was and the cakes. She would have always worn really nice colours, but she would have gone for the big baggy but she would have liked. She kind of liked the 80s. Would you understand that? And the way she dressed, it was like that was her era, her prime. Okay, and she's got this sort of sense of she loved floral perfumes.
Yes.
Okay, am I right? She had trouble with her speech at times, and she was a little bit embarrassed about it, which is one of the reasons why she was quite like I was saying with her voice. But I am seeing a little, the little book of prayers. I feel she was brought up with this, and she loved that side of it. And she kind of warmed to going to church, but she wasn't deeply religious in that way.
She wasn't religious, she was spiritual.
Yeah, okay. She used to wear these like colourful plastic costume jewellery things, right? But she loved them, and there was just an accessory for every colour. And I feel that it was great going through all of these things, and she treated them as if they were worth a fortune, and she'd have put them, this is going there, and she was so delicate with everything, but it was like a £2 plastic, was it Claire's accessory? She would have loved that. She would have had one of those toilet roll covers with a little frilly dole on it. Would you understand that? You know, those sorts of...
I actually do understand that. Someone else had that, but yeah.
Right,
That's
okay.
relevant, yeah.
I feel with this lady, she's surrounded by very similar ladies in the spirit world. Like the conversation just carried on, and it's it feels like she's still living a very similar life, just in being the same person. It feels like she's surrounded by family as well. Okay. She would have had a fright towards the end. I feel she was rocked in her spirit a little bit. She became very fearful, and despite her sort of spiritual nature, it was like, oh no, I hope I'm right, I hope I'm right. And it feels like it took a little bit of persuasion just to get her to just let go. Right. Okay, I'll leave her love with you. I feel that she's got so much energy, and feels like you're going off somewhere today, and she's sort of going along with you. Okay, but it feels like it's very busy, like you've planned quite a lot, and she's like, I'm gonna have to keep up. Right. Okay, I'll leave her love with you. God bless you. Okay, I'm getting this. Before I feel someone come in, for some reason I'm getting the word name Marcus. Oh no, there's a Mark, but it's like, I think it's a Marcus. I think it's a gentleman coming close to me. He's got quite dark hair. It would have been always very neat and tidy and trimmed, and freshly barbered, he's telling me. And there's a gentleman in the front row with freshly barbered hair as well. Actually, I feel he's wants me to come to you, actually. I'm trying not to look at you because I'm trying to visualise him without your influence, do you know what I mean? But I feel he's telling me there's a very strong connection. If he's not a father, I feel like a father with him. He might be a grandfather, but I feel this distance with him, that you didn't get to know him very well. Do you understand this? Yeah. Okay, and with him, I feel like a very, very direct and quite a clever man, but my direct way of talking isn't received very well by people, but it was just, I wasn't rude, I was just direct. I didn't always think about how I came across to people, okay? But as a young man, I feel he was quite tall, quite thin, but he was quite a strong guy. And I feel he was surrounded by a lot of bravado and macho people, and he tried to live up to that. And he used to punch above his weight, he's telling me, and thought he was a bit of a big deal. And it feels like he doesn't really think that was wrong, it was just the way he was. Okay. He's making me feel it just wasn't a very good influence that I grew up around. Okay, so it brought out something in me that didn't make me agreeable, but it was my survival mechanism. But I feel like he shared more with me than he really wants to. He's not a very open and expressive person. Okay. He's making me feel though you're similar in a lot of ways, you're not. It's like as I'm looking at him and I look at you, it's a different structure. You're a bit more physically meaty than he was. And it feels like you got a lot of other influences, and he's very pleased about that because it makes you a better person. You've got some parts of his character, but I feel you take a lot after your mother's side of the family, and that's a good thing. He's telling me it's where a lot of your better qualities come from. It's not that this man was without his good qualities, but he didn't nurture any of them. Not a charitable man. It wasn't that he was heartless, he just couldn't concentrate on stuff like that, whereas you do. He's telling me that you look for avenues of service, you look for places where I can be of use to people, and you don't mind being taken advantage of every now and then. You don't take it personally. It's just chalk it off to experience, and it's part of the process. I see you working very much with your hands again, and I feel you've had a bit of a setback, and you'll physically feel much better now, and mentally ready to take on another part of your journey. And as I'm talking to you, I'm feeling very sensitive. I've got all these sort of feelings bubbling all up and down my body, and I'm getting used to being that sensitive. And I feel you sit together and you explore psychically together. I also feel that the talk resonated with you, that you're sitting there and finding ways of enhancing your experiences. And I'm not a tourist operator, but I feel like going to lots of different places with you, spending a weekend in Glastonbury and talking to the weirdos. Okay. I love Glastonbury, please. Okay, but that you feel really at home in that space, and I feel this gentleman, and although it wasn't really his cup of tea, I feel he also feels a duty of care with you, to be a protector and a guide. And I don't want to marry you off, but I feel that energy looming in the not so distant future. Okay. I feel with this gentleman a real appreciation of the opportunity you've got to enjoy life fully, and very strong foundations there, he's telling me. So I'll leave that with you. God bless you. I've got this other gentleman coming in. Again, I'm getting confused. I'm getting names all of a sudden, but I don't know what he's talking about a max. I feel like the word max is being whispered, and I feel this gentleman was quite a tall gentleman. Again, quite dark hair. He would have been quite smartly dressed, nearly always in a suit, and I feel he had a good job, but he was just a very focused man. And he was a very straightforward gentleman. Again, I'm feeling on the father's side, tall, dark hair, but he's I don't know why he's not giving me as much as I would like. I feel I'm being drawn over this the young lady with the glasses there. I feel this is a father or grandfather energy coming to you. Can you understand some of what I've said so far? Okay, well, if we leave the name, because I'm terrible with names.
We are now, you just told yourself that.
Cheers, Dave.
That's okay.
Can you understand why there's this sudden silence with him? I don't feel that I had enough of a dialogue with you, okay? And I feel what he's saying to me is there's this. You've started out on your spiritual journey, ready to focus on it. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel with this gentleman, there's this very strong protective nature, and that he would like to see a very direct path for you. With that, does that make sense? The way I'm trying to describe it, because the spiritual life has so many different avenues, but you're looking for a much more direct path. I feel you've got a very direct path in your sort of working life as well. You know what you do, you know what you're good at, and you know what your progress is going to be, and you want to apply that to your spiritual nature as well. I feel with this gentleman, he was very organised, very good at planning and accounting and documenting for things, and that served him well, and it serves you well. Trying to put things into an order. I feel you're at a stage of studying what you're experiencing, and I feel you've got the ability to put that into a very plain, concise, almost like you should write a little book of your experiences so you can put it across in a really direct way, without the making sense of it. Again, I feel like with my talk earlier that you're someone who needs to express it, take it all in, understand it, and then express it, and complete that circuit, and then expand on it. Okay. I feel that there's this he's making me feel that you've had to move away from something, and there was a sense of sadness, and that's kind of completed its cycle. Would you understand it? He's being ambiguous because I feel it's personal.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The way he's making me feel is that it's not that you don't want to make a lot of friends, it's just you're very much an in and out person. You go and do something, you study it, and then you withdraw, and you're not forcing yourself, but you're beginning to sort of hang around and have more of a conversation with people and understand things more, because you've learned to not be so busy and just learn to take it all in a little bit more. Because I feel with this gentleman, he didn't do that. He was very focused in his life, and that's kind of what he did, and you're taking time to really immerse yourself in it, and it feels like all you can do is encourage more of that, because you seem to have become comfortable with yourself and where you're going, whereas before it wasn't that you were uncomfortable with it, it's just you were doing it to build a foundation in your life. But now what, and it's almost like this born again feeling. It's beautiful. It's like I've come alive again. Okay. I've also got someone else coming in the spirit world, and I don't know who this is exactly. It feels more like a friend type of energy, maybe a guide, but I just feel this ability to understand languages. Are you bilingual, or do you study languages? Okay, so that's what this is, and I feel there's so much more of that. It's funny, Laurie was asking if there's some people here from another country. I'm from South Africa, and he thought, oh, if you do go to them, you speak Afrikaans. It's like, I don't. I could just about understand some of it. He goes, but I feel that this is going to open up a whole world to you, being able to relate to different elements, because as spiritualism is becoming more popular in Europe and around the world, people are looking to England. And so, funny enough, in mediumship we don't have many bilingual people, so I feel that there's this avenue for you to explore there. And you're also getting me interested in the ancient past, he's telling me. I'm trying not to give you a psychic reading. I feel this is coming from this gentleman, but this is what he wants to share with you this morning. Okay. Okay. And although he's quite, do you remember that it's a kiddies film, Flubber. There's this weird material that, and he's telling me that it's, I don't know why he's saying it, it's like flubber. I'm trying to get him to clarify that. I'm going to have to just leave that with you. If it makes sense to you, it makes sense. If it doesn't, that some crazy guy told you that.
Yeah. Enjoy your flubber.
Yeah. But it's all I can relate to that is it was like this weird thing that was somehow alive. But what's he trying to say? I feel this is to do with energies and visualizing things, but I don't want to make it fit, so I'll just leave that with you. Okay. And I feel that, I don't know if it, right, this is the confidence of me. I feel like I want to say happy birthday, but I don't know if it's just missed around, okay? Okay. I think there's some cake around somewhere.
Not anymore. Let me alone.
I feel this gentleman, it just feels like, sorry, I can't have given you more, but there's more to come. Okay, so I don't know if that just meant in life and future, but I just feel that's what he wants to leave you with. And I'll leave his love with you. God bless you. I've got another gentleman coming in, and he said the word Branksome, and I know Branksom's not far away. I feel a gentleman who would have lived in the area, loved the area, and I keep wanting to, I haven't got the sniffles, but I feel this gentleman would have been streaming all the time with it. I feel he would have had all these allergies, and he goes, well, it was this big old nose that I had on my face, right? So he's very funny with it, but he's showing me he had quite a character, and he had obviously this larger nose feature that he's talking about. Okay, but there's a real sense of humour. I do feel I'm coming more to a daughter, and I want to share my joy with you for how you've grown and gone through life. And I feel with this gentleman. I want to describe him. He's a little bit shorter than me. He would have been quite a slim gentleman, and his hair would have gone grey, but he would have kept most of it. And he was quite a charming man, and he used to keep himself quite up together, and he had a good charm. He liked the ladies, and the ladies liked him too. But he was not he was a gentleman, and I do feel that he was well looked after towards the end, and he appreciates the difficulties of family looking after someone like that. I feel over in this direction a little bit, but does anyone understand this? I feel like I want to come to a daughter. Okay. What it's showing me as well, when he was younger, I feel like he couldn't do his national service for a reason, but he was always very appreciative of people that did, and I feel like he used to do quite a lot fundraising for the Legion and things like that, because many members of his family did serve, and I feel that he took great care towards the end, because I feel I had a brother that was in the services that passed away, and because of that I felt obliged to do that for him, if that makes sense. Does anyone understand this? Okay. And he's given me the name Julian or Julia to link with him. If no one can take this, I might just be a local. Well, it does happen. It's not my excuse. You don't understand this gentleman, Laurie? No. Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Branksome. Okay. Okay, I'll let him pass along. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I've got this lady, and although this gentleman still feels involved, I've got this lady with me, and she's sitting there sewing all the time. She's showing me, and as I'm looking at her, she's usually seated in her chair. She would have worn quite long skirts right down, but she used to love sitting there in this chair, and she'd be sewing all the time, but she's looking around. And I feel with this lady, she was very sharp, and she knew everything about everyone, and she's making me feel quite matriarchal, and I feel like a mother, but I just feel like quite a dominant presence. Very nice one, but with this lady, there's no messing around. She's drawing my attention to the lady by the pillar just there. The lady just there. I feel this is a mother, quite a strong character, very strong lady, with, and she's showing me doing this sewing, but she's kind of doing it while she's concentrating on everything else. Would you understand that?
No, not really.
Okay. I'm wondering why she's drawn me so directly to you. She's got this very strong character, but she's like a motherly figure that everyone goes to for advice, and it feels like if people need something looking after or a situation handling, I would go to her. If you can't quite understand that, why she's giving this, because I feel such a strong connection that she's got with you. Because I feel quite serious with this lady that you've had. I'm trying to frame it right, because I'm getting this feeling, but it feels like you've had to be very resilient, okay? Yeah. And I feel these influences that feel very oppressive and almost bullying, but it's like, okay, right. She's choosing these very carefully. I feel this lady's a very protector, and almost like she's helping where she can with these influences, because I feel you're being bombarded from all areas, okay? Legally, financially, this, and you figured it all out. You're the person who's making sense of it all, because everything's compartmentalized, and you've had to really, it's been very taxing, and she's very proud of you, because it was no mean feat to have organised all this, and there's no thanks, nothing, and no one realises what you've just been through, but she's just publicly outed you, so there you go. But she's saying that took a lot of great determination, and you've had to learn a hell of a lot. Yes. And you were just plodding along fine in life, and then suddenly had all this weight of responsibility, and you've got through it very well, she's saying. And it's like, it's a bit of a sigh of relief. Okay. As I was saying that, I've got this gentleman just sort of almost jump into my skin. He's a bit more softly spoken, and he feels very loving, like a father. And there's some tears coming with this gentleman. There's some tears of sadness and joy mixed in between. Okay, he's showing me he's wearing quite a nice thick woolly kind of jacket. I feel it would have been my go-to formal jacket, but it's looking a little bit worn here and there. Would you understand that?
Not from a father, from a grandfather.
Grandfather, right, okay. It's just silly things like, this is my old favourite one, and the sleeves are a little bit worn down, and it's warm, it's comfortable, and it's me, it's very familiar. Yeah. And you've been craving that familiarity because your head has just not been in the space for it. Okay. But I just feel this warmth and love, and there's little tears rolling down my eyes as I get to connect with you. Okay. Very emotional man, but loving. And very smart, and I also feel a celebration. I don't know if it's around his birthday or passing, but he's got that kind of energy about him. It's almost, but it feels like he's smartened up for the day. Okay. I've got a love of animals, and I don't know if it's just with him, but with you as well. And I could do with the cuddles from the animals
Yes,
while I've been going through all this. Okay. And I just feel this sort of, you're forcing yourself to come here this morning because it's such a nice day. You're like, oh, I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to go out this morning. Okay. And I feel like he wants you to just think of him, and it's not your first time here, is it?
No.
No. Okay. But I just feel this sort of the sense of wanting to come back and come back and come back. That this drive,
Yes.
just to learn and grow and experience. Okay. With this gentleman, I feel he would have been one of those men that just never got his eyes tested and couldn't really see in front of him. Do you know what I mean? And
He did have very thick glasses.
you're right. Okay. But he's sort of been very sort of protective, and he's like, "You're checking yours as well, aren't you?"
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, because you'll notice in it as well, and he's like, what he's saying is, it feels so much clearer now that your head has got time to breathe and you can see more clearly. That's what he's saying to me. I'm going to leave his love with you and move on. God bless you.
Lovely.
Is that it? Okay.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Just a few notices for the week. We have this coming Friday at 11 o'clock in the... Forgotten how to talk again. This Friday at 11 in the morning, we hold our bereavement group. That's for anybody on whatever stage of the path of bereavement that you are on. It provides that safe and supportive environment where you can relate and interact with others in similar circumstances. And I emphasise similar because nobody grieves the same. We all have our own path to walk. So that's Friday at 11 o'clock. On Friday night at 7 p.m. we have our spiritual cafe, and that's an opportunity to come in, get a cup of coffee, as the word cafe suggests, and a cake, if there's any left after I've been in the kitchen. And we just have open discussions about to bring thoughts, bring ideas, bring questions about spiritualism, spirituality. Really relaxed, informal evening. Next Sunday we have a Lyceum service. The Lyceum services where Stephen delivered the philosophy today. Instead of that, we will have a part of our history of spiritualism. Whatever the facet is picked by the demonstrators. So next week, Elaine Bevin will be chairing the service. Isn't that wonderful? You get a professional for a change. Hurrah! Anyway. And we welcome, we have a group of American mediums who are visiting the UK. I was volunteered to organise their agenda. That was nice, wasn't it? Anyway, for great fun, we have Reverend Brian Peters from Ohio, who will be the medium for the service next week. And then a week tomorrow, we return with our healing evening. So if you'd like healing, always available before the service, or our healing evenings, which are held fortnightly, and they're at 7:15. Please pick up a newsletter or go on the website, because we've got a lot of events happening over the Easter weekend. And these are on the website. There are lists out there if you'd like any private readings coming up on Easter Monday, for our cream tea and Prosecco on Good Friday, an evening of mysticism on the Saturday. Lots of things. Have you got your name down?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's nice. See? But interaction. So lots of things coming up. And again, as I say, on the newsletter, better still on the website, because if anything needs to change, we can update that straight away. I can't run round and change it while it's pinned to your fridge, I'm afraid. So, Stephen, sir, closing blessing. Thank you.
Divine and gracious Spirit, we thank you for bringing us all together once again to sit in the harmony and group energy of that love we have for the spirit world. And that when we ask our loved ones to step forward, they do with the communications of love and guidance that they do. And we ask that that sits with us, that we digest that information, that we have those clear insights into the mediumship and how it affects our life and the meaning behind it. And as we do, we take that knowledge and awareness with us, and we promote that light through our good works and our energy. So we take that energy today on our way home with us, touching all the souls we pass along the way, and sending that beautiful thought of love out into the world. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for your service. Before we go, look at you, we're on a rush there, aren't we? Before we go, most people are aware of this as a lovely gentleman who comes to our church. He can be a bit of a pest at times. He's always surrounded by the ladies. He always gets a cup of coffee magically when he walks in the door. I don't. He gets a cup of coffee. And we haven't seen him since October, I think. Because he's been, you know, while the NHS is going into decline, it's his fault. We haven't seen Ted for a long, long time. You had us a bit worried at one stage, I'll be honest. And so were you. But you're happily settled now. You're being looked after. You're getting all the care and the love that you deserve.
House full of ladies.
House full of, yeah. I popped over to see him, and just right in the middle of lunch, I thought, oh, food, I'll turn up. And I was amazed to hear the residents were ordering drink with their meal. I'm like, I'm moving in here, I can't wait to get home. But Ted, it's so lovely to see you back.
Thank you.
Really is. Welcome. Not only that, but Thursday was a very special day because Ted was 96 years old. So we'll be giving you the bumps afterwards, all right? But I think a quick round of happy birthday, because we have missed you, Ted. We have missed your presence. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ted. Happy birthday to you. Yay. Lovely. Thank you. Do you know what? It's simple things like that. Bring people together, bring a smile. Ted's going to go home and he'll be having the ladies queuing up and he'll be telling them about how they sung happy birthday to him, won't you? Yeah, the old devil. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. We live in a beautiful part of the country. We've got the sea on our doorstep, the country behind us, and the sun in the sky. What more do we want? Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go direct, go direct, go direct.
I think I left him in there, that's why I went out in a minute.
Oh,
he locks the door. Well, good to see you again, and that's really good mediumship. Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In the nice.